Hello my fellow GameMelters, Valentin here with another Android jam. This time we're having a look at a game called Mekorama. It's a 3D isometric puzzle game that might just have the cutest clumsy robot protagonist of all time. When I first started this game, it reminded me an awful lot of Monument Valley. Block-based isometric levels, all the puzzles looking like tiny but complete worlds on their own, and a main character that doesn't utter a single word. However, the similarities end here, and Mekorama goes down its own path, and very successfully for that matter. We are going to have a look at the graphics and sounds of the game before moving on to its gameplay. In terms of graphics, the game doesn't boast with some amazing 3D animations or special effects. Instead, Mekorama has gone for a much simpler voxel-based graphic style with flat colors, simple textures and just enough shadows to make everything look like a Minecraft for toddlers. Luckily enough, complexity does not equal quality, and the simple art style makes for an amazing aesthetic. Every little piece seems to fit perfectly inside the theme, and the game lets you do what you came for, solve puzzles and not watch fancy VFX explosions. There is still a good amount of detail put into the graphics, with the main character and the NPCs displaying great animations while they clumsily move towards whatever their current goal is. Their clumsy movement is actually so well done that you quickly fall in love with the little fellas, who look like someone stuck a few pipes to a recycling bin and called it a robot. All of this in-game beauty is nicely complemented by the simplicity of menus and such, with the main menu actually looking like a book with a collection of postcards, one postcard for each level. Now let's talk about sounds. I've seen quite a lot of games that try to procedurally generate background music, and even more so that just switch between dramatic and calm pieces depending on the current mood of the game. But Mekorama does something completely different. It lets the player actually create their own music. And that's not done through some fancy, overly complicated tool, but simply by playing the game. Now, in order to move your character, you have to tap where you want him to go. Each tap makes a bell-like sound with different pitch. Every few seconds, the sounds that you have created are repeated with some effects over them, and then new sounds are fed in as you progress to the level. The result is a unique piece in each level that perfectly reflects how you felt while playing it, not how the developer told you to feel, but how you actually played that. So if you play the level slowly, you will have a very relaxed and calm music, while a level where you tap like crazy will have its background track filled with the bell sounds and make everything sound a little bit chaotic. There is also a constant ambient tune going on just to make sure that silence doesn't take over while you spend 15 minutes figuring out how to beat the level. With all that in mind, we can now head to the most important part of the game, its actual gameplay. While graphics and sounds will certainly make you play the first few levels of Mekorama, it is the gameplay and level design that will make you stay. The game has 50 levels, which is a huge amount for a one-man project. Your goal in each level is to get the tiny robot to the red marker, an objective that quickly turns out to be much more complicated than it sounds. In order to achieve that, you have to tap on the ground telling your guy where to go, but also manipulate elements of the environment to make that possible. This includes raising bridges, rotating giant wheels to create pathways, and even solving some mazes by putting movable blocks in the right places. The game teaches you the basic principles and controls in the first few levels, and then it's only up to you to discover all the hidden mechanics that lie beneath. So when at some point you encounter what looks like a plug with electricity running through it, please use your common sense and don't get electrocuted like I did. Your little robot is going to shut down in such an innocent way that you will feel sorry for ever putting it through that shocking experience. After a while, you're also going to encounter other robots which you can't directly control, but which you can still influence by changing the environment. The game, being voxel based, allows for all the craziest combination between elements, and believe me when I say that a robot with a live electrical plug on its head, it's not something you would like to see. It's like a walking shock therapy ready to turn you into a useless pile of metal if you get too close. All of those elements are used wisely in the levels, and you encounter them every few levels in different combinations, meaning that you will hardly get bored of a specific mechanic or type of puzzle, an achievement that not all puzzle games can boast with. Levels vary in terms of playstyle, and while in one place you have to navigate through a maze that spreads on two massive floors, on another one you need to actually balance a ball over a lake in order to get it to the other end. Level size is also not a constant, with some places being only 5 tiles across, while others representing actual bloody castles or houses and take a while even to understand what's going on. Spatial reasoning is your biggest ally in this game, so if you like me get lost in your own neighborhood, this game will be a much bigger challenge than expected. It is worth mentioning that Mekorama allows for user-created levels, it has a built-in level editor, and it has a very interesting way of sharing them. After you create a puzzle, it gets encoded into a huge QR code, which you can then share wherever you want, and people only need to scan it in order to try your level out. There are hardly any restrictions as to what you can create, and as a result I just downloaded a level that looks like a Salvador Dali painting, than anything else. Needless to say, my efforts at solving it were absolutely futile. Being a free-to-play game, it is quite important to say a few words about Mekorama's business model. Actually, one word would be enough: generous. The game adopts a pay as much as you want business model, giving you all its content for free. The only thing you need to pay for are hints, which unlock if you pay any amount of money. You will get messages every now and again asking you that you help out the developer, but they are written with a sense of humor and they are not as annoying as in some other games. Overall, Mekorama is a game that you absolutely must download. It looks amazing, plays amazing, and the best of all, it's free. Even if you're not a massive fan of puzzle games, make sure to check it out, as it might just be the title that gets you hooked up. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, leave any comments in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss anything in the future. You can also find GameMelter on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter in order to get all the latest updates as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.